The garden has such a positive impact all around. It's centrally located on our campus, so it's kind of a focal point for our entire school, both instructionally and socially. We really want students, when they're working in their science curriculum, to tackle problems as scientists. So what better way to be able to dig in and get real world experience than having an actual garden on your campus? And I think one thing that's so special to me about that is having a garden here in the middle of a desert. You know, that's such a rare thing. And to have it be so prolific and being able to expose the children to all kinds of different produce. I mean, chard and different kinds of chili peppers and just things that you probably normally wouldn't see in their daily lives it's so heartwarming to me. What a great firsthand experience for students. So we're making those real world connections just beyond reading about something in a textbook. And the students have such a sense of responsibility and pride in that garden and taking care of it.
It's had a dramatic impact, like really fired the kids up about wanting to be outside and wanting to be involved. And as they get out a chance to get out there and get the kids and get their hands dirty and get their hands in the, in the dirt, and the kids really love it. And then next thing you know, they want to learn more. They want to learn more. Like, hey, what about this? Or what about that? And then the inquiry starts kicking in. Say, raise your hand. I say, if you guys have been impacted by the garden, like if you think you want to try gardening on your own, or you're interested in maybe starting a garden at your home. I had like 10, 11 kids who rose their hands. Was like, yeah, they're like, this is my deal. And I think just the opportunity to leave the four walls of a classroom, I think it really helps a lot of kids who struggle. I think it helps a lot of kids who have issues with when it comes to retaining, attention at times. I think getting out of that normal classroom environment actually helps them out a lot. So my kids actually actively worked in the garden when it came to spreading the mulch or weeding and, planting seeds. Like they actively put the work into it. And so I think that really helped them connect with the garden itself. And it also helped them feel, like I said, they had a piece of that garden, like that garden, it belonged to them.
It has an impact on the kids. Eating strawberries and carrots has an impact on the kids. Seeing where food comes from, having a conversation about the bees and not being able to eat without bees and pollinators and butterflies matters. Everyone has seen stuff growing in the garden and been like, whoa, blown away. And when my kids come back from special last year, they were always like, let's go to the garden. Let's go pick something. Let's go do something in the garden. They wanted to pick, they wanted to look, they wanted to pick up weeds, they wanted to spin the composter. They just wanted to go do stuff. They get it. Mm-hmm. And those things are making an impact, kid by kid.
Sometimes we will have a student who's having a little bit of a rough day, and so we'll just kind of take them on a walk. Like they might shut down, they're not wanting to do, a certain task in their classroom. And so we just kind of take a little sidestep to the garden and they calm down. We can sit down and have a conversation if they're stressed. But I think what really makes it special is not just a place, it's a place of study, because there's real world things that happen there that can help them understand what's going on around them. And, those experiences that are going to mold them throughout their adulthood. Oh, I remember planting the seeds, and I remember seeing our pumpkins, or I remember the teeny weeny little chili peppers or the strawberries and how they've never picked them off of a strawberry bush. It's such an awesome experience. And then just the yummy taste of these fresh fruits and vegetables.
Being able to plant a seed and watch it grow and yield something that they can eat, I think absolutely has its impact. I wish that there was more opportunity to get the kids out there and involved in some of those lessons. I know our teachers do. Our teachers also have valued it and will take their kids out, even if they don't have a garden lesson, just to see what they did the last time in the garden is doing. Everything we do in the garden, we open up to the community. We do tours. So like when we have our carnivals, one of our stations is garden tours. So we have a staff member that will take the families out and show them the part where the kids do the planting and the growing and all of that. And so I do think it has had an impact.
best thing that I can tell you is that parents come up to the fence and say, "Oh, are you the garden teacher?" "Well, we're growing things at home and my kids love your class." And that always makes me feel really, really, just thrilled. The other thing that makes me happy is whenever we're out there, and we're out there a lot, you can tell from my tan, they'll say, "Can I try some kale? Can I try some parsley?" Is this so they're starting to be able to identify the plants and want to eat them, and that is huge because I've raised kids and I know they don't like vegetables. It's just a given, but they do now because of this program. So that's really what I think has been such an impact.
This is my first year at Deering, and when I first came here, I thought, you have a garden class, really? I mean, come on, that's one thing to have Green Our Planet after school, but to have kids come to a specials for garden. But the benefits I've seen with Miss Mullinex doing it with reading and projects and things like that, and having the students do a lesson in class and then go out and actually have hands-on, the students love going to garden, and it has a lot of academics. So, when I first came in as a skeptical person, I mean, I'm totally won over as the importance of having it as an everyday class for these students, because there's such benefits for them.
Our population that we're dealing with, if we have 60% of Hispanic students and about 30% of African American students, then we have, like, our Caucasian is 5% and our two or more races is about 2%. So we do have a pretty diverse population, and sometimes our students don't have that opportunity. These experiences aren't available to them. So often you will find that some of our students don't know what a eggplant is. So being able to go out into the garden and actually have a hands-on experience where you can touch it, feel it, smell it, you can engage and interact with it so that they understand what it is and how it is a part of their life. But then even going beyond that, it's important for our students to understand that, this is something that you can take ownership of. You can be a part of this world with growing things that give back to and support our nature. So I think it's kind of goes twofold. We have that, like I said before, and like Ms. Velarde was expressing, that our students need to see it, they need to understand it. And if we didn't have that, a lot of our students actually would not have that opportunity to engage and understand what those different items are, or even get to taste it. So we're really expanding their horizon, so to speak, and giving them those opportunities by having a garden here. And then they get to go in and actually put their hands in the soil and know what it feels like to even have a profession farming. So there's lots of different arenas that we can touch there with having a garden on campus like that. In addition to that, since we are able to harvest, we're actually able to give back to the community though too. There's been so much, it's been so plentiful, and I'm so proud of the fact that we are able to share. But yeah, our community gets to participate in that. And so it's just having this global effect. It's not just touching the lives of our students, but it's touching the lives of our families and going beyond the school walls. So I just wanted to add that.